Level 1, Grade 4. Grade 4 cursed spirits can be dispatched with a wooden bat. Not a cursed tool, not a technique, a bat. You are the appropriate response to something a baseball player could theoretically manage. You don't know this yet. You've just enrolled at Jujutsu High, Tokyo or Kyoto, depending on where the higher-ups decided you belonged. And you've been told you have cursed energy, which means you can see and fight the curses that ordinary people cannot perceive. You've been told this makes you important. You've been told that sorcerers protect humanity. The humanity part is true. The important part you will need to revisit. You are assigned missions alongside a senior sorcerer. You do not go alone. The institution does not send grade 4 sorcerers into the field unsupervised, partly because you would lose, and partly because losing a first year to a curse whose paperwork says it's manageable creates administrative complications. The system is careful about this. The system runs on calibrated risk, the way a hospital runs on scheduled appointments, confidently, systematically, and with the understanding that something will always go wrong on a Tuesday. You carry a wooden bat. You tell yourself it's temporary. Level 2, Grade 3. You can handle yourself now. Most students reach Grade 3 within their first year. The cursed spirits at this level require a handgun, meaning your technique, your cursed energy, your trained body is sufficient. You go on missions. You come back. This is the baseline expectation and also, quietly, a minor miracle each time it happens. Nobody tells you about the misranking problem. Jujutsu High's documentation acknowledges it. Cursed spirits are ranked by observation, by prior encounter data, by what sorcerers who survived the last meeting reported. But curses evolve. Curses hide their techniques. And sometimes, a filing error in Kyoto means a Grade 2 assignment arrives in the field as something considerably worse than a handgun situation. And the sorcerer holding the paperwork, the one who read Grade 2 and packed accordingly, finds out too late. Yu Haibara was 17 years old. He was a first year. He was assigned a Grade 2 mission alongside his classmate Kento Nanami. The curse was not Grade 2. The paperwork did not reflect this. The paperwork was corrected afterward, in the morgue. Nanami carried Haibara's body back himself. He quit the next year. He came back 4 years later, and he never fully explained why, and he died at 27 in Shibuya. There is an adage in the Jujutsu world: no sorcerer dies without regret. Level 3, Semi-Grade 2. This is the grade the institution gives you when you are above Grade 3, but have not yet completed the requirements for Grade 2. It is a holding rank. The process requires documentation, a formal recommendation, and someone senior willing to put their name next to yours, which means their judgment is attached to whatever happens to you next. Most seniors think carefully before putting their name next to anyone's. You are assigned more complex missions. The cursed spirits you face are beginning to require actual technique rather than raw output. You learn to read a curse before engaging it. You learn that the way a curse moves in the first 3 seconds tells you more than any file the higher-ups compiled. You learn that the files are frequently optimistic. You are getting closer to Grade 2. Grade 2 means solo missions. Grade 2 means no supervisor. Grade 2 means the institution has decided you are capable of dying on your own without anyone senior present to file the report. You train harder. Level 4, Grade 2. You go alone now. The promotion comes with a formal letter from the higher-ups, an updated ID, a modest increase in your per-mission compensation, and the complete removal of the person who used to stand beside you when things went wrong. Grade 2 sorcerers are considered skilled enough to take on solo assignments. The institution frames this as a vote of confidence. The vote of confidence means you are now the most senior person in the room when the curse turns out to be stronger than the file suggested. You are above average. Most powerful sorcerers sit between Grade 1 and Grade 2, meaning Grade 2 is not where careers end, it's where they're supposed to begin. The truly exceptional ones, the ones who enrolled as Grade 2 without any prior missions, are called geniuses. Nagumi Fushiguro arrived at Grade 2 as a student. This is mentioned in the same tone used to describe people who learn to read at age 3. Cursed spirits at your level require, in the institution's preferred analogy, a shotgun. Close call with a shotgun. The language is precise. It does not say you will walk away clean. It says, close call. You start reading the files more carefully before you leave. The files do not get more accurate. You get better at reading between what they say and what they mean. Level 5. Semi-Grade 1. 2 Grade 1 sorcerers recommended you. This means 2 separate people who cannot be the same person because the institution has rules about this, submitted your name to the higher-ups, accompanied you on missions where they watched you perform, and then signed documentation stating that you were ready to be placed in situations worse than anything you've faced so far. 2 people staked their professional judgment on you. You should be flattered. You should also understand what it means that they did this from a comfortable distance. The recommendation phase is followed by accompanied missions at Grade 1 level, then a solo mission. You are assigned a Grade 1 curse alone. Your performance on that mission determines whether you get the promotion or whether you get sent back to Grade 2 with a form that describes the outcome in neutral administrative language. The sorcerers currently at Semi-Grade 1 include Toge Inumaki, who can cause physical harm to anything that hears his voice and can't eat most foods because of it, and Noritoshi Kamo, who uses his own blood as a weapon. The institution places these individuals in the same holding rank as moderately talented students awaiting their next evaluation. This tells you something about the economy of the jujutsu world. You are nearing the top. This is technically accurate. What it does not communicate is that the top is where the assignments that require evacuation plans begin. Level 6, Grade 1. The tank might not be enough. This is the institution's language for what you now face. The Grade 1 documentation leaves room for the tank to work. What it doesn't say is that you are the tank. Grade 1 is where the vast majority of dedicated sorcerers peak. It is the standard everyone aspires to, the rank junior operators look up to, the thing that separates the exceptional from the merely very good. Kento Nanami was Grade 1. Nanami was the kind of sorcerer that students studied not for his technique, but for the way he approached an impossible situation without changing expression. Practical, overly serious to an almost comedic point, willing to fight special grade curses in a burning building with half his body destroyed because that was the mission and he had not finished it. He died doing exactly that. Grade 1 sorcerers are assigned the missions nobody else can survive. You do not get safer work at Grade 1. You get the work that has been waiting for someone capable enough to be sent. Your missions now require Jujutsu High to issue evacuation notices for civilian areas. Your missions require coordination with multiple teams. Your missions have body counts attached to the planning documents, listed under projected acceptable losses, and you are not in that column. You are the response to something that requires a tank. The tank might not be enough. You go anyway. Level 7. Heavenly Restriction. Some sorcerers are born with a heavenly restriction, a trade made before birth, a bargain between the body and the world that cannot be undone and was never consented to. In the most extreme cases, the sorcerer gives up cursed energy entirely. 0. The measuring system the institution uses to rank every sorcerer, every curse, every threat. It produces a 0 for these individuals. The form has a box for your cursed energy level. The box says 0. The recommendation is Grade 4. Maki Zenin has 0 cursed energy. The Zenin clan, one of the 3 great sorcerer families, the ones who measure a person's worth in cursed technique output, kept her at Grade 4 deliberately, because a Grade 4 label on a Zenin is useful for certain internal politics. She could not be promoted by their rules. She was held there. What the form cannot record is what she traded the cursed energy for. Physical ability that outperforms Grade 1 sorcerers. Perception that detects cursed spirits without any energy sensitivity at all. A body that operates in the space the system does not measure because the system never imagined anyone would exist there. Toji Fushiguro, her predecessor in this configuration, had 0 cursed energy and killed Grade 1 sorcerers and special grade curses on contract. He was eventually stopped by Satoru Gojo. Nobody before Gojo had managed it. The Jujutsu world runs on cursed energy. The grade system measures cursed energy. These 2 facts together produce a system with exactly 1 blind spot, and the blind spot is large enough to kill you through. Level 8. Special Grade. cluster bombs might work. There are 4 registered special grade sorcerers in the world as of 2018. 4. The institution has documented them, assigned them that rank, and in doing so implicitly acknowledged that the rest of the grading system has stopped applying. You cannot compare a special grade sorcerer to a grade 1 the way you compare a grade 1 to a grade 2. The scale does not extend that far in a straight line. It bends. A special grade sorcerer is someone capable of wiping out a nation. This is Kenjaku's definition, stated plainly during combat, offered as a factual clarification rather than a boast. The institution uses similar language in its internal classifications. Satoru Gojo was special grade. His curse technique, Infinity, meant that nothing could touch him. Every attack slowed asymptotically toward his skin and never arrived. He maintained this passively, unconsciously, the way a person maintains a heartbeat. He was 28 years old and had already made the power balance between humans and cursed spirits contingent on whether he showed up that day. He showed up, until he didn't. The thing about special grade is that it doesn't protect you. It makes you the appropriate response to things that would destroy everyone else. You don't get sent on evacuated missions. You are the reason the mission requires evacuation. The cluster bomb analogy is not describing what faces you, it is describing what you are. Level 9. Vessel. That is what the paperwork says. Yuji Itadori enrolled at Jujutsu High, rated at approximately grade 2 cursed energy output. The form does not have a box for hosting the king of curses inside their body since the age of 15 after eating one of his detached fingers. Ryomen Sukuna is the strongest cursed spirit in history. He existed during the Heian era, the golden age of Jujutsu, when the most powerful sorcerers of that entire period could not collectively stop him. He split his soul into 20 indestructible fingers after death and waited. He waited 1,000 years. He ended up in a high school student from Sendai who is, by institutional documentation, grade 2. The institution's response to this situation was to execute Yuji immediately, on the grounds that hosting Sukuna made him an unacceptable risk. Satoru Gojo intervened. The compromise was, keep Yuji alive, have him consume all 20 fingers to concentrate Sukuna in a single body, then execute him cleanly at the end. This is the plan. Yuji accepted the mission. Level 10. Master Tengen. There is a chamber beneath Tokyo Jujutsu High called the Tombs of the Star Corridor. It is not on any public map. The entrance is concealed behind more than 1,000 shuffling doors that rearrange themselves continuously, and the corridor descends through a towering sacred tree, and at the center of all of it is a sorcerer who has been sitting there since the Nara period, since 710 AD, give or take, maintaining the barriers that make your missions possible. Master Tengen has no grade. The grade system was built on top of them. Tengen's barrier encompasses Japan. It seals cursed energy within the country's borders, which is why Japan produces the world's sorcerers and why almost no cursed spirits appear elsewhere. The schools you trained at, the missions the higher-ups assigned, the pipeline that turned your cursed energy into a career, all of it exists inside Tengen's barrier. The barrier runs continuously. It has run continuously for over 1,200 years. Tengen does not leave the chamber. Tengen does not go on missions. Tengen is the reason missions are survivable. The grade you earned, grade 4, grade 1, special grade, was earned inside an infrastructure that Tengen built before your grandparents' grandparents were born and has maintained every hour since, and will maintain after you are gone. You have never thought about Tengen. Most sorcerers haven't. The institution does not emphasize this in orientation, possibly because there is no orientation language for the thing keeping you alive is a 1,200-year-old being who has become one with the world and whose failure to reset their own immortality could turn them into humanity's greatest enemy. The wooden bat was enough to handle your first curse. Tengen is the reason the bat exists. Tengen is the reason you exist as a sorcerer. Tengen is in a chamber right now, doing what Tengen has always done, which is everything, invisibly, so that you can do something. That is the grade the system has no name for.